Yeah, Mr. Speaker, you caught me just confirming with the law on whether this House can actually impose the same sort of sanctions that we've seen imposed by committees on witnesses who fail to appear before those committees. And I think I've said enough about CS Aisha Jumwa. And I have no more to say. As a legislator, you have advised us on more than one occasion that this cannot be a house of lamentations. So I think we need to proceed and impose a fine in accordance with the law for the non-appearance of the CS Aisha Jumwa. As to my brother, the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Mudavadi, I have never seen him in this house since these rules were promulgated and the number of times that has been invited here. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I have the privilege of sitting on the SBC, and I remember one time he's the one who wrote a letter to this house saying that you cannot summon a cabinet secretary if there is only one question to answer, and that we should wait until there is enough material for him to be able to appear before this house. And I remember the direction that we took as SBC. We said it could be the most critical question in the country right now. And I want to thank some of the CSs who have appeared here. Last week, Honorable Speaker, the CS for Defense, Aden Duale, appeared to answer one question on the reopening of Uhuru Park. And I think he left everybody here satisfied. The people of Nairobi are happy. The park is now open. We cannot be told such stories, Mr. Speaker. And because you have directed us that we should not be a house of lamentations, I want the fate that befalls Aisha Jumwa to befall the CS for Foreign Affairs, so that he also feels the pinch. And I want to request that we expedite the changes that we made to the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, so that, Mr. Speaker, the enhanced fine might be a dissuasion, or might dissuade some people from failing to appear before the Senate. Mr. Speaker, it has been a very difficult night here in Nairobi because we are trying to coordinate responses to incidents of flooding all across the city, and I'm sure this is a matter that everyone is aware of. But even though we did not get much sleep, we woke up in time to be able to be here this morning because we have critical questions to answer. And if you look at the range of questions and the discussion that we were to have here, especially on arrest, detention, and deportation of Kenyans in diaspora, these are critical matters, Mr. Speaker. I have a very critical case that has gone on, I think, since before the elections. One of our key supporters from Western Kenya, Professor Ruth Onyango, her son was arrested in the US during the crackdown on the opioid epidemic, Mr. Speaker. And he is a qualified doctor, pharmacist. And that young man has languished in jail at an undisclosed location, and we are unable to get any information on his whereabouts and whether he's okay. It would have been a nice opportunity for the CS, who comes from that very same county where that young man comes from, to give answers to the family of that young boy. So, Mr. Speaker, I express my disappointment, but I want us to proceed in line with the law and impose those fines and issue summons so that if they fail to appear, other consequences can follow. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.